Hey foodie friends. So today we're gonna make some quick and easy mixed berry turnovers. So let's get saucy. All right, foodie friends, like I said, we are going to make some mixed berry turnovers. These are really easy. You can do what I did and make your filling, or you could buy a canned pie filling, any kind you liked. Anything would be good with this, apple, cherry. So I just had some frozen mixed berries that I kind of cooked down with a little bit of sugar, and I added in some dried cranberries to that, and then I thickened it up with a cornstarch slurry. So that's what I'm putting inside of mine. So I have one package or two pieces of puff pastry here, and I'm just going to lightly roll this out into a bigger square. So we don't need to roll it out too much, but we want to get it as square as possible so that I can cut this into 4 even pieces. So we'll just roll this out lightly to where it's about, I don't know what's this is. It's about 10 by 10, so maybe get it to about 12 by 12. Doesn't have to be exactly perfect, but we are, like I said, going to make squares out of this, so we want it pretty even so that they're nice and even, and when we fold them over they make a good triangle so that, you know, one side's not too much bigger than the other. Got this mat here which shows me how big they're getting, so that's about 11 by 11, and I think that's probably pretty good. I don't want to make it too thin, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this in half. Cut that in half, and then cut each one of them in half again. All right. I forgot my egg wash. So I'm just gonna crack an egg here into this little bowl. A splash of water. And whisk that up. I'm gonna use this to seal the edges and also to brush the top so that it gets nice and golden brown. All right, so this is my berry filling, like I said. So I'm gonna take a nice spoonful of this and put it below the center here. A little bit more. So maybe, I don't know, 1/3 of a cup or so if you want to measure it. And then I'm gonna take this egg wash and brush the corners, the sides here. And we'll take that and fold it over and meet all the corners, all the edges. Press them down to seal, and then I'm gonna take a fork here and just give it a little bit of a press. You don't really need to do this. I like the way it looks. It kind of gives it a pretty crimped edge. So that, and then we're gonna just pop this onto a silicone mat or parchment paper lined baking sheet. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the other 7 of these, and when we come back we'll do the rest and bake them. Got my oven preheating to 400 degrees right now. All right, so these are all done, and the oven is now preheated. So I'm just going to brush the tops of these with some more of this egg wash. It's going to make them nice and beautifully golden brown. And then I'm going to take a small knife and just put a couple of vents in them so that some of that steam can escape a little bit. They won't explode. Now, these are gonna go in the oven for 20-25 minutes-ish until they're nice and puffed and golden brown and beautiful. This other tray, I think I'm actually going to freeze these because we won't eat all of these right away. So I'm gonna pop these on this tray in the freezer so that they can freeze them. Then you can put them in a Ziploc bag or something else and keep them in the freezer for up to like 2 months probably. You could pop them out in the fridge and let them thaw overnight before you bake them. Then just brush them with the egg wash and put the vents in. You could probably bake them from frozen. You probably need to add a little bit more time because they're gonna have to thaw and then bake. But I'd say the best way to do it is to let them thaw overnight in the fridge before you wanted to bake them the next day. So this tray in the oven, this tray in the freezer, and we'll be back when they're ready. All right, foodie friends, our turnovers are out of the oven. They are absolutely gorgeous, beautiful golden brown. A couple of them did open up a little bit, but that's okay. They're still gonna be super delicious. So I'm gonna take these and move them over to a rack to cool. And while they cool, I'm going to make a little bit of an icing or a glaze for them. I'm not gonna cover them completely with it. I'm just gonna kind of drizzle. You could cover them completely if you wanted to. You could do a few things with these. You could just dust them with powdered sugar. That would be great. If you wanted to, when you brush the egg wash on there, you could sprinkle some sugar, either just some regular granulated sugar, or if you had some coarse like sugar in the raw type of demerara sugar, something like that on there. If you are going to do powdered sugar, wait till they cool, because otherwise it'll just melt and you won't see that beautiful dusting of powdered sugar on there. So like I said, I'm gonna let these cool and I'll make that icing. And then once they are cooled and I've drizzled some icing on them, we will come back and give them a taste. So like I said, a little bit of kind of icing. I'm just going to throw some powdered sugar in here into this little bowl. We don't need a lot because I'm not going to cover the whole tops of them. And I'm using a little bit of lemon juice. You could use water, you could use cream. If you were going to use milk or cream, you'd want to keep them in the fridge. So I'm just using lemon juice. That way they don't have to be refrigerated. So I'm just going a little at a time, because if you've ever done a glaze with powdered sugar, you know that you go from thinking that's not going to be enough liquid to that's way too much liquid in just one drop. So carefully adding a little bit at a time, and just so I get the right consistency that I want. So it's like drizzly, but not super thin. Of course, if you make it too thin, you can always add a little bit more powdered sugar, or you can always add a little bit more liquid if it gets too thick. If it sits for too long and starts to thicken up too much, you can always add a touch more liquid to it after that. All right, foodie friends, they are done. We've got a little glaze on them, so let's see what we have. I'm just gonna tear this one open. Look at that. Doesn't that look amazing? Still steaming, so there's definitely still a little warm, but we're gonna go in for a taste in a second. All right, let's see what we got. They're so delicious. The light, crispy pastry, that filling. I only put about a third of a cup of sugar in there, so it's not overly sweet, more like natural sweetness from the berries and a little bit of sugar. That glaze on top, because I made it with the lemon juice, has a little bit of sour tartness to it. Balances everything really, really well. It's absolutely delicious. So, guys, thanks as always for joining me here on Getting Saucy with Chef Lynn. Check the description box below for the link to the full written recipe as always. You can follow me across all social media at Chef Lynn Wheeler. My website is cheflynnwheeler.com, where you can find all my recipes. You can also, if you're in the Central Florida area, reach out to me to book for catering or personal chef jobs. Like I said, guys, thanks again, and I will see you next time. Got to make these. So good.